Hey guys, my name is Ryan and with me is Miska and welcome to Overwatch Central. So a few weeks ago, once we got straight into the beta, one of the first videos we made was going over the difference in graphical settings in Overwatch, ranging from ultra to potato settings. Being brutally honest, we kind of put it out on a whim. We didn't kind of expect the traffic that we got on it and the questions that we got from you guys, especially with the question, can I run Overwatch? This is my gear. Can I play the game on Ultra? So instead of going through all of your questions one by one, which we have been trying to do, so we've made this follow-up video which goes over our own specs, the recommended specifications for the game, how they deal with it, and if you plan to upgrade, what you should potentially be getting.
For this video, we are using a website called Passmark software. For those unfamiliar with it, it lists CPU and GPU benchmarks in order of how good they are. There's also a price, performance and value list to make sure you get the most bang for your buck. It's not 100% spot on, but it's a good place to start off when seeing how much your gear compares with the recommended specs, as well as how much better your future buys will be. It's also worth mentioning that we aren't exactly Linus Tech Tips here, so don't expect any sort of hardcore breakdowns. We just want to equip you with the tools of identifying and improving your own specs, so you too can get shot down by bastions at ultra settings with 60 FPS.
Before we get into the nitty gritty of CPU and GPU stuff, let's go over the other small things that your computer will need to run Overwatch efficiently. For this video, we're kind of ignoring the minimum settings but looking at the recommended ones. So don't worry if your computer isn't as good as the ones that we talk about. These requirements are for systems aiming to run the game at medium level at 60 frames per second at least. So if you don't hit these sort of pass marks, don't worry, you can probably still play the game on potato settings, but you know, you may want to upgrade in the future.
Firstly, you will need at least 5 GB of disk space available on your hard drive. You will also need at least 2 GB of RAM. RAM is definitely the easiest thing to replace and upgrade, and I would say 8 GB of RAM is more than enough to run Overwatch, but if you're a content creator, then I would look at getting 16 GB. A big help when using multiple software at once, and especially when editing videos. You will never have RAM issues. It's not necessary, but every little bit helps, right? Now onto the CPU. CPUs tend to be the most awkward thing to upgrade. Luckily, the recommended specs seem to be in mid-range for processors. Looking at the i5 series for the Intel processors and the Phenom 2 X3 series for AMD, both running at 2.8 GHz.
So my CPU is an Intel i7 series 2600K, quite a common one, and if you search for common CPUs, that processor is in 13th place, and Miska's i5-2320 benchmark lands at around 44th place, which seems really low down the line. But the recommended CPUs are found around the 50th to 80th scoreline, so there's a strong chance that you have a decent enough CPU for this game to run it. I mean, my computer's been around for 4+ years now, and it's still going really strong. CPUs can be a really awkward thing to sort out if you need to upgrade, but there's a strong chance that the CPU you have now will be fine because the game really isn't that CPU intensive.
In reality, the main thing that makes the difference here is the graphics card, and there's several things I want to point out. For this, I just want to talk about the Nvidia card, so sorry all you ATI and AMD users out there. You can check benchmark scores to find cards that perform at an equal or higher level. The recommended card is the Nvidia GTX 660, but to be honest, by spending only a little bit extra, you can get a lot more. Going in order, the cards you should potentially be looking at are the 960, the 970, with a brief mention of the 980 Ti. The 960 is literally $50 dearer than the 660, but look how much higher it is on the list. If we look at the price performance list, you can see that the 960 and 970 are pretty much neck on neck with their cost score. So if you want to spend a little bit more for that extra performance, then go for the 970 over the 960. But both will run Overwatch comfortably.
If you want to get a better graphics card than the 970, then you'll be probably looking towards the 980 or the 980 Ti. The Ti being the most powerful gaming graphics card that's out at the moment. And it's still like under $1,000, so it's fairly cheap, but hear me out first. Midway into 2016, Nvidia will be launching their Pascal series of graphics card, which supposedly will have 12 times the performance of any of the 900 series graphics cards that are out at the moment. So if you want to spend that money sort of ranging from $500 to $1,000 and more, I would say wait until those cards come out. Similarly to those on a smaller budget, if you can wait until those Pascal cards come out, then the prices of all the 900 series graphics cards will plummet to a much more affordable rate. So if you can wait, I would suggest it, and then everybody's a winner. The reason why we made this video is because I've been looking at upgrading stuff. I have the GTX 750 Ti, which as you can see is just short of the recommended settings. My general plan is to just get me a 960 to tide myself over, as it's about £150 in the UK, so it's not really that expensive. Once the Pascal cards come out, and you know, if they're around £500, then I'll probably get one of those. If I wasn't sure about getting a Pascal, I would definitely get a 970. I wouldn't go any higher than that, because really, there's no point.
And as a TLDW, this is what we would recommend. 8GB of RAM, an i5 CPU with a clock rate of at least 2.8 GHz. If you need a new graphics card, go for the 960 for a smaller budget, 970 for a medium budget, and wait for the Pascal graphics card coming out 2016 if you got a high budget.
And that's everything. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this video useful. Let us know how you get on if you have any more questions in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe for more Overwatch content. And until next time, take care and we will see you then.